Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. You are joined with your boy 2K Suave. I am here with Mr. Alex Rodriguez, Red Hot Yankees. I'm here with Mr. Sammy and Novik. So we got some representation from the towny side of the bracket of the world. But Sammy gonna hold it down. I know he will. How's everybody doing? I'll start with you, Sammy. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm today's one of those days where I'm excited to get on this pod and just vent my frustrations. Just like how you always start off a lot of the podcasts like that. I'm like, you know what? Today seems like it's my day. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Go on, brother. Just take it. Just tell
no, it has a lot of it has to do with kind of what we're gonna talk about.
Okay,
The first thing was obviously just PSG pissing me off and upsetting me, like as always at this stage. I mean, there's one more leg next week, but I mean, yeah, that's just the start of my frustrations today. But yeah,
listen, you can't talk to me about soccer. There's nobody who has been on the brink of just jumping and just ending it all. The amount of times I've dedicated my
Oh my
life to
God.
watching this damn Manchester United football team. I am so disgusted with them. But A-Rod, what's up, bro?
oh, but real quick, Eid Mubarak to everybody. I don't know if I cut A-Rod off on that, but just want to say happy end of Ramadan to everybody following our podcast, as two of us are Muslim and followers of Ramadan. So.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramadan ended. It feels like we were talking before we started recording. It feels we're just eating normal hours again and going to the gym and knowing you can hydrate your body and you can take a cup of water with you to the gym and drink it on the way. So back to normal. So feeling good, and Yankees are doing good. PSG lost. It hurt me too because I'm a PSG fan too. Real Madrid first, but PSG is the second team I root for. And then the other game, who cares? It was pretty. I'm a closet Atletico fan though. Still, just Griezmann doesn't
Listen,
pie.
I'm very straight to the point. I got my boys in Manchester, and then wherever Messi at. But honestly,
What's Messi?
if I had to choose, well, my Inter Miami. If I had to choose another club in Europe, it's still going to be Barcelona, simply because of how I got there. I told y'all this before. Ronaldinho was the first soccer player that made me actually want to, like, back when I had the little Motorola Razor. I used to record videos on my Razor of Ronaldinho doing like shit on the pitch. I was like, yo, this dude is nice, bro. And then he introduced me to Messi, and then the rest is history. So I'm there for them, bro. I'm there.
I respect that.
Man got a standing ovation today in Paris because he played for both PSG and Barcelona. So
Paris.
yeah.
All right. Have any of y'all seen anything crazy, wacky, wild, stupid, funny?
The Knicks are the third seed. That's the wackiest, craziest thing I've seen.
You sure that's gonna stick? It's gonna stick like that?
I don't know, but they're the third seed right now, man.
No,
I
both
ain't my chickens before they hatch, but
bro, the East and the West, both of them is just. I mean, nobody has a clue what the final seedings are going to be. And it's like 3-4 games left, so it's gonna be crazy.
It's funny because like during the day I put on like talk radio or ESPN to listen to the talking heads are saying, and when I hear Kendrick Perkins and them all the time on NBA, it's like the Cleveland Cavaliers are gonna. I'm like, dude, they were so high on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and now the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they at now? Where's Cleveland? Where's Cleveland at, huh?
Somewhere in Ohio, but that's about it.
Fucking wild, man.
Sammy, anything for you?
Yeah, man, I just want to add on to the fact of why people hate the fucking LA Dodgers after what they did to this poor woman who caught Shohei Ohtani's home run ball. They got that woman fucked up. I just want to say that. They got that woman fucked up.
I'm about to start. I was about to just bust out laughing. Fuck, that's not funny.
Did you see that? Did you see that, though?
Funny, though.
They got that woman messed up, dog.
Not
And she was like, and the A-Rod, we were together when that shit came out, and A-Rod showed me the video. This woman's like happy at all the stuff she got. I'm like, dude, you got jacked. Like, you got jacked.
Bruh, that's not funny. That's fucked up. It's horrible. That is horrible. This dude out here.
You're laughing though, so it's wacky.
This dude out here misplaced $4.5 million. And come on, bro.
Since then they came out and they gave her more stuff too, but I don't think it's still enough.
What did they give her?
The parlay Dodgers need to come together and do a little bit better than that.
What did they give her? Foam finger and a jersey? You got tickets to the next game?
They said first of all, they told her we're not going to authorize it for you. Second of all, they told her, oh, we'll give you this signed bat. Well, like one of those like ones that say LA Dodgers on, like not like a real bat. Like, come on, bro. And then they gave her like 2 hats, and they're like, here you go. And she's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I was like, you got jacked.
I'm calling Johnny Cochran out the grave. I'm like, bro, we need some help, dog, because I am not. You got me all the way messed up on this one.
That's the most Danny Ainge shit I've ever seen right there, man.
Oh, fuck the Dodgers, man.
Hey, that's hilarious, but it's not hilarious. It's sports. It's crazy. Real talk. It's like it's April. It's like we're in the thick of things within the spring. Draft coming up, baseball kickoff, NBA playoffs is coming up, hockey playoffs is coming up. The WNBA shit, the draft about to start. It's like everything is like we're in a very interesting spot across the board in sports. So we got a lot of shit to get to today, honestly. And I want to kind of kick things off with so a little bit of basketball on the collegiate level. So obviously, since we last spoke, we have 2 new champions on the women's side and the men's side. UConn, the boys watching them. It's like, bro, there's nobody who could beat them. So big shout out to Mr. Hurley. He comes from a lineage, that family, that bloodline. That's a strong ass bloodline. He was able to get that shit going, and they won back to back. I think they're the first team to do it since Florida. And I think there was a 6th team to ever do it, period, or something like that. So
the 4th
big up
team.
What?
4th team.
4th. So big ups to them on that. And then we look at the other side of the bracket. First and foremost, y'all both watched the games?
Yeah.
Did y'all watch Iowa and South Carolina as well as Purdue and UConn? I was genuinely excited to watch South Carolina and Iowa. I basically turned on the UConn game at 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was like, first of all, why the fuck is the game so late on a Monday? I come back from work, I'm tired of shit, and I gotta wait a few hours before this game's gonna start. So I wait, I put the game on, and I watched it because I had to. Basically, hey, shut up. I watched it because I had to. And then once this game started getting like a little lopsided, I turned that bitch off. I ain't gonna lie. I turned that bitch off and put on 2K, and I was like, I'm gonna play some 2K. Like I was just, I couldn't sit through. Like that game was boring. Like it was, bro. Purdue made 1 3-pointer. They shot 6, 7 threes. I'm like, what are we watching? It's like I've been affected by the Gen Zs, but I want to see shots go up. But that happened. But the Iowa and South Carolina game, I want to start with where we're at in collegiate sports because they had 18.9 million viewers view that game. That's the most watched basketball game ever on ESPN ever in the world of streaming, bootlegging, all that shit.
It's the most watched game on ESPN since 2021, and that was an NFL game or something like that.
That's
some shit
wild.
Like that.
And
basketball, it was the biggest, the most ever.
Yeah, and when we think about it, we look at the effect that Caitlin Clark had, right? Clearly, that's the reason why everybody tuned in. Like first of all, she's about to go to the WNBA.
It was David and Goliath.
Before I get to the actual game, she's about to go to the WNBA. They don't have enough money in their bank account to afford what she's worth. Like, by no means, that like at all. They don't have enough money. They don't have enough chickens in their bank account because like she single-handedly generated billions. Literally, think about it. Like the amount 18.9. The men's game had 14.8 million. The LSU game, the Final Four game, the semifinal had 14.2 million, and UConn's championship game was 14.8 million viewers. So the effect that she's had on the game, and the effect that the women's game has had, I'll start with you, Sam, because like we're basketball fans, right? It's like and you're a Celtics fan. You're behind the Shield, right? I'm a Sixers fan. I became a Sixers fan because of Allen Iverson. So that's my why I became a Sixers fan. I followed a player. Like Allen Iverson got me. Like Michael Jordan got me to watch basketball. Like really, Allen Iverson got me to like love basketball and be obsessed with basketball. So that's how I got into it. So like, first and foremost, where does your Celtic lineage? Where does your whole? Just give me your background of what drew you to Townie.
Uh,
Townie Wood.
well, I'm originally from Boston, so obviously it's just kind of through and through in my blood. But really, what drew me?
Real talk, before I go, because like I lived in Detroit and I was not a Detroit anything fan. Like I was a Red Wing fan and that was it. And there was nothing in Detroit that would draw me to it. So there has to be something that just at a young age is kind of something that got you.
Yeah, it was probably watching games with my uncle, like, because I really looked up to my uncle as like a brother, right? So he always, Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, all that stuff. And then it was, looking at watching a couple games, and then when Paul Pierce got drafted, he was like, my uncle was talking to me about it, and I was like, whatever, like I don't really care. And then I was watching a few games, and I'm like, damn, this kid's pretty good. This kid out of Kansas is pretty good. And then I just kept watching, right? Like I was like, damn, this is probably going to be my favorite player. But what really drew me to the NBA period was Vince Carter. Okay. So I will say that I never wanted to be a Raptors fan, but I just obviously watching him play, and also them at the time being in the same division as the Celtics, facing them so frequently. So being able to see him a lot. So yeah.
And you, A-Rod, obviously I know you're from New York, Queens, right?
No, absolutely not.
The Bronx.
There we go.
Yeah, you're from the Bronx. So
Queens.
obviously, I understand the Yankee lineage and all that, but like when you were a kid, who was that person for you that it really got you just entrenched?
I mean, I was here when I like started to fall in love with basketball, and it was at a young age. I mean, my parents got me Michael Jordan jerseys and Shaq jerseys. And I think the person that did it for me was my cousin. My cousin was big into sports, and it was baseball. And about the same time, I remember Space Jam came out, and that's when I started like watching basketball a lot. And I told my mom, I'll never forget, I was like, I want to start collecting baseball cards. She came home with a tub, like a big tub of cards. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to find like a Ken Griffey Jr. and a Derek Jeter and a Cal Ripken Jr. I open it up. It's all basketball cards. So I was like, well, because she saw me watching Space Jam, and like I remember we used to go to McDonald's and we get like the stuffed animals, and I wanted the shoes, and I had like Space Jam stuff. So I think she just got it mixed up, and she got me into basketball. So I kind of give my mom some credit to it too. But the player that did it for me will always be John Starks. My cousin was like, pay attention to this guy, because he is like the one that can lock Jordan down. And I'm like, he's not even anything special, but he's like, look at the heart that he plays with. Like, he's not an all-star by any means. Or maybe he was an all-star once, but like he plays with a lot of heart. He's like, I think he told me he was like a poor man's Penny or something like that. But yeah, John Starks was it for me. And then where I started to like develop on my own was when Tracy McGrady came into the league. Cause I remember I was in Florida. I was like starting to look at draft classes, and it was Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. Those were the two. Because I remember that 96 draft class like the back of my hand. I remember we took John Wallace in that draft. Throw it away. But Kobe Bryant, I remember I had like all his rookie cards. I still got like a Bowman's Best that I've never opened, never touched. But Tracy McGrady really did it for me. I don't know what it was, because like his first year he was ass. And his second year, he was ass. And then I was like, he's got to be good at some point. Then when he went to Orlando, I was like, all right, he's finally doing it. So those are the two. But with the Knicks, that was always my thing. Michael Jordan got me into the game for sure. I was a big Michael Jordan fan. I just couldn't stand to watch him play the Knicks. That would hurt me. And then Kobe and Shaq later on, and then Tracy McGrady in that era. And just afterwards, I just became a savant to everything. So
Yeah, same with me with Tracy. Like Tracy, like people don't understand how much I love Tracy McGrady. Like I talk about Iverson a lot, talk about LeBron a lot, but like no, I don't really get to talk about Tracy McGrady a lot. I moved to Orlando the same year he got to Orlando. No. He was in Orlando the year before Grant Hill got there, right? So he got to Orlando. I got to Orlando the same year that Grant Hill got there. And I remember the first time I watched Tracy McGrady play living in Orlando, I was like, yo, this dude is local to here. He's from where? He went to Auburndale. This so like Tracy McGrady is like one of my favorite all-time basketball players. But to kind of bring it back, and speaking of Kobe, bro, I was last night, I couldn't sleep 2 o'clock in the morning. What do? I watch basketball. I watched Kobe's last game, the 60-point game. Dog, that shit had me in my feelings, bro. I was like emotional. I was like, fuck, I can't watch it before I go to sleep. And I couldn't change the channel, bro. It was Kobe, bro. So but think about the players we're talking about. Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, Vince Carter. Caitlin Clark is that impact to the WNBA and college basketball for the women. Like she got all these people like, damn, we gotta follow her story. And ESPN gets on my nerves as a network. I think it's too much. It's all the same shit every day. It's annoying. But one thing they will do, they know how to market a star because they will talk about them till the crows come home. You know what I mean? And what Caitlin Clark's impact is like great. It's like it's been amazing. And we'll see how it goes in the next level. Obviously, she's going to get all the coverage. And Dawn Staley talked about her after the game.
Class.
But very, and I love Dawn Staley. She's a Philly person. She loves all the. I love Dawn Staley. And then we look at the men's side. Zach Edey, 37 and 10. Individually, he was great. Purdue was horrible, and we saw South Carolina dominate and UConn dominate, right? So a couple of quick numbers before I get into this. UConn's average margin of victory was 23.3 points in the NCAA tournament, which is the most ever, the most in NCAA tournament history. The amount of time that they trailed in the tournament was 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Lowest margin of victory, 13 in the past 2 tournaments, 13 points. The lowest margin of victory in the past 2 tournaments was 13 points. Like, what the hell? And they look at South Carolina. They're one of 10 teams to have finished undefeated with the championship. Dawn Staley joins like a list of coaches who have won three rings. A lot of just great numbers, and we saw individual Caitlin Clark go down. We saw individual Zach Edey go down, and we look at the landscape of college basketball, and it's like it's such a weird time with NIL, and it's just teams that have like 8-year seniors and this and that and the third. What do you where do you see in the next 5 years of college basketball, kind of just based on what we just witnessed? Because we watched 2 individual players be able to take the teams to a championship. But at the end of the day, what do we always talk about? You need some grown-ups on your team, and the grown-ups that are an actual team with good coaching were the ones that able to prevail. So I'll start with you, A-Rod, because we talk about this all the time. What based on what we just witnessed, like what do you see like as far as like what's next for like the next five years of college basketball?
I mean, I was excited for the UConn game because I'm a UConn fan. So, but
oh fuck.
But what I take away from it, like Caitlin Clark leaving is a big hole in women's basketball, and Angel Reese too. I don't know if Juju Watkins is leaving, but
she's a freshman. They stayed 4 years.
All right, so I don't know.
Paige Buckers is staying too for next year.
Caitlin Clark was like a generational thing that you're going to see in women's basketball, and women's basketball is always like on the back burner all the times, but this year it leapfrogged the men's, which I was happy about. Can they find another player to romanticize and replace her? Maybe I don't think so. It's going to be tough. And as for the men's league, they still play regular style basketball. That's why Purdue was so dominant with Edey. Nobody had anything to compare to a 7'4" center until UConn showed up with a 7'2" center and a 6'9" saving grace that could hold down his own with him. But everybody else was playing that trying to get to the NBA style basketball with smaller men on the team, 6'10" being the biggest, maybe a couple 7-footers, but they're not playing as much. But Edey's your prototypical 90 center, and Purdue fucked up. The game plan was give it to Edey every game. He'll have 40 and 15 every game, but you've got to surround your players with other good players. And I'm not saying the Purdue guys suck, but I'm also saying the Purdue guys like really suck. So.
And when you talk about UConn, like when we talk about blue bloods, we don't ever say nothing about UConn. We say Kentucky, we say Kansas, we say Duke, we say
UConn is up there, man. They're fourth most winning.
That's what I'm gonna say. They are only one of 4 teams with 6 or more championships, and they got all 6 of those in the last 25 years. They got UCLA got 11, and mind you, a lot of UCLA's was at the same time when they had Wooden over there. Kentucky got 8. A lot of those were in the 40s. I mean, Calipari, we're about to talk about him. He just exited left and he just got up out of there. And then North Carolina, part of the reason why I got into basketball, Vince Carter was the reason why I became a Tar Heel fan. Like Michael Jordan was one thing, but then I didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan in college, obviously. I was growing up watching Vince Carter. I was like, yo, I like that team, right? So, and then there's UConn, and they have 6 championships. They have like an infrastructure that works. But you brought up a good point, like how like the level, the way they play basketball in college is like very kind of old school and traditional. But like we're gonna Sammy, like with Edey, right? He's not projected to go high in the draft, so it doesn't show that it's gonna translate. But is that a fault of college basketball, or is that a fault of the NBA? Because I mean, how do you see Caitlin Clark and the Edeys of the like? We'll see how Caitlin Clark's. How do you think Caitlin Clark's overall like aura is going to translate to WNBA, and how do you think a player like an Edey can translate to the NBA as well?
Yeah, it's funny. You're looking at polar opposites, right? You're looking at one player in Caitlin Clark who's going to pretty much show stop in the WNBA, right? Like it's just going to be instant stardom when she goes, and it's going to translate really well because her game translates very well. But then you look at another guy like Edey, who we might not hear about this guy for another 3 years, right? Like he's going to go into, and he's probably going to be one of those journeymen. I think Vic said it perfectly, like a Zubac, like somebody that's going to be a strong center for you, maybe 20, 25 minutes, just give you some solid rebounds, protect the rim a little bit, maybe give you like 10 and 12 on a every day, right?
But
that's all he's going to be.
Team, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. But he's not going to be a star. He's not going to move the needle for a team. And if you drafted him, you're not going to be happy with it, right? Yeah. Like overall, right? As opposed to getting a player like Caitlin Clark's equivalent. Yeah. But yeah, you're looking at two polar opposites.
So then when you look at the state of college basketball, right? So speaking of NIL, Kentucky. We knew after they lost to Oakland, like, come on, we knew that wall was, I mean, that door was about to close on Calipari. We just didn't know how it would happen. And then, I fell asleep because I was watching WrestleMania, and then as soon as I fell asleep right after WrestleMania on Sunday, and I woke up to all these A-Rod texted the Arkansas thing. I'm seeing all this shit. I'm like, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Come to find out, he's friends with the Tyson Chicken guy in Arkansas, and they just broke him off for $35 million for 6 years or whatever. And
Mafia.
He basically went and chased up. He got out of Kentucky because the shit got a little hard for him, and he went and chased an NIL deal. Let's call it what it is, right? So we look at the world we look at the kids. If a kid does that, it's like, oh no, what are you doing? But when Calipari does it. Yeah, man, he just had to get out of there. You know what I mean? So when you look at that from that landscape, you're like, how is this? What are we looking at? Like, we're seeing 5-year seniors and 6-year seniors. So kids are probably staying a little bit longer, but everything just seems different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you see. Like, Era, how do you see this world? Actually, no, you, Sammy. How do you think? How you seeing this new world of college basketball and how it's translating to the professional leagues?
I think we're overreacting on the time. First of all, we're talking about this Caitlin Clark thing, and obviously, I don't think Candace Parker was as big, but I mean, Candace Parker was very big when she was coming out. So I think we're seeing ebbs and flows, right? And it happens in all sports. And I think the problem with college basketball is the balance of power between the coach and the player. It always has been, right? So you got a coach who wants to win. Right. But you also have a coach that wants to get the 5-star guys. But at the same time, he knows that 5-star guy is not going to stay the whole 4 years. And like you and I are, like we've talked about and had discourse about, is you see some of these teams who make it far in the tournament. They're freaking 22, 23-year-old men compared to these 18-year-old kids who, they're good, but they don't have an identity together. They don't play well together but they're just trying to win off pure talent alone. And I don't think that works. And I think you're seeing some of the transition of some of those coaches trying to find that balance because we live in this society of this instant gratification, right? Like we need to win now, like as soon as possible. If you're a great coach, you better win tomorrow. And not knowing that you got to build this rapport, you got to build a solid structure of, and to put it like you say, KK, a lot, men. Like the stronger team is going to be men that are going to win these national championships. And the coach doesn't always get graded on the players, even though if you look at Calipari's track record of pros is pretty long.
35 first-round picks.
Right. But they get graded on championships. And Calipari has one, even though he has 35 first-round draft picks, but he only has one title in his name. So it's tough. It's going to be a balancing act. I think we're just seeing like a little lull in talent, but I think things will pick up. Plus, I think it's a little bit more enticing for players now to go overseas, play that year of professional ball, don't have to deal with school and education and all this stuff, and they can focus their 6 months to 8 months on just basketball and then come into the league. So
who talks about that all the time? Brandon Jennings. Like he was real big on that. Like how it really just matured to him. He learned, like, look at all our best players in the league right now. All of them started playing professional basketball like at 16 over in Europe. Jokic's, the Lukas of the world, the Wembenyama's. Like, it's just, you start playing pro at a young age, you got to grow up quick, right? And A-Rod, what do you think about this? Like, we see the women's game and how improved it is, right? And we talk about the impact that Dawn Staley has, and that they're a lot more refined, right? And then it gets to the WNBA, and what people like about the WNBA is how, like, everything is very executed on a high level, right? Whereas the men's game, now we're so focused on athleticism and shooting threes, athleticism and shooting threes. And the reason why the UConns of the world was able to win, they coach how to play defense. They coach how to make adjustments on the fly. They coach how to when to send a double team, when to trap. And then you get to the NBA and you're drafting a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds who've never learned that because they didn't stay in college for 4 years. Whereas the women's game, they all stay for 4 years and they get to WNBA already like ready. So do you think that little disconnect that we're having between college is affecting what we're seeing in the NBA? Because let's be honest, the NBA, the way the game is played now is not what we grew up on, right? But we grew up on like kids going at least 2-3 years and not just, microwave and then leave. So A-Rod, what do you say about like just the way that's affecting the NBA?
I mean, how many draft classes do we remember and that we can reminisce on? We were like, damn, that was a good draft class. And we were excited to see, like, I remember, you can say Vince Carter's draft class. I was excited to see Antoine Jameson come out of there. I was excited to see Vince Carter, Paul Pierce, all these guys with a hodgepodge of like international guys too. Michael Olowokandi was the first pick. Mike Bibby was 2. It's wild. But now it's like draft comes and I remember I would stay awake to watch the draft and I was so excited and I had like my basketball digest and like doing all my research and shit and trying to make these players to put on the rosters for the current NBA Live that I had then at the time or whatever. But it's boring now, man. Like you hit the nail on the head with it. The kids just want to leave, and Calipari has ruined the game of college basketball. I feel like we give this man so much praise every year for everything, and they hype him up to be this great head coach. And yeah, he gets the best recruits, but they leave. They know the assignment. We're gonna go play for Calipari. We're gonna try and relive that freshman.
And if it wasn't for Anthony Davis, he wouldn't have a fucking title.
Correct. Exactly.
Say that again, because like it wasn't like he did anything coaching wise. He just had the best player in the country. Like literally, that's all it was.
Not just the best, but the biggest.
And that too.
Yeah, so I just think Calipari is it was better for Kentucky to get Calipari than it was for Calipari. I don't know how to explain it. Like Kentucky was pumping out players, but they weren't competing for anything. The last time they did something was with Antoine Walker and Kentucky, and then I think they lost to UConn that year. But afterwards, Kentucky was just like abysmal. You couldn't remember who the head coach was. And then Calipari came in there, turned it around. It got it exciting. You see Drake there. You see like major athletes going and supporting it and all this and that and movie stars and shit. But I don't know. Like Calipari to me he's like we say Michael Jordan and Steph Curry ruined the game of basketball. Calipari ruined the NCAA basketball. Like respect the guy. Like you got to get your money somehow. The man's got to be in the mafia. The way he's getting these deals, Tyson Chicken breaking him off some of that. Like, come on, man. I'm so. It's like I got off the train for Calipari this year with like the tournament buzz of him all the time because he can't get past the second round. He's coaching literally children that I guarantee you they just put their beats in and just fuck around all the time, man. And we allude to it all the time that the older the team is, I mean, UConn had 2 graduated players playing in the national championship. The older the team is, the more mature, the better it's going to be. And now that Krzyzewski's gone and Roy Williams is gone, I feel like it's really leveled the playing field for anybody now. And with Hurley, what I can give him credit to is he's took a program that after Kevin Ollie won his 1 championship and they ran him out of there, I thought the program was done. I was like, damn, that was a great run that UConn had. They were constantly a good team. And then in comes Bobby Hurley. And what Bobby Hurley did, he was patient. He took the players, he developed the talent, he scouted the right guys, brought them in, and it worked. And that's the beauty of the game. But with college basketball, it's like I feel like certain coaches, like a Calipari, will prep these guys for the NBA. Like if you're coming to me, we probably won't win a ship. We're going to try to, but I'm going to prep you for the NBA and get you ready for the NBA. That's his motto. That's what he stands by. But if you want to win a championship, you got to find the right program to go to. And it's going to be a coach that doesn't take shit. Like Calipari's cool, but like I feel like he just like doesn't give a shit. He's like, oh well, these kids are going to get paid millions and I'm getting paid millions. It is what it is. You know, so that's just my take of things. And from the woman's side, like you said, don't forget Candace Parker was like the big girl on campus when she was around. Like
Listen,
we
don't
forget
Maya
that.
Moore was
Maya Moore
her?
too. Maya Moore too.
Brianna Stewart. Shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. But I mean, as I remember Candace Parker like Peyton Manning in college. I remember Peyton Manning's name every day in college. I remember hearing Candace Parker's name every day, and I was like, let me tune in and watch some of these these women's games. So I don't know if it's going to be as impactful because we're going to look for another person to be as impactful as a Caitlin Clark. So
I have a question.
I
know why. I have an opinion. Candace Parker was the first chick since Lisa Leslie that was out there dunking, and at that time in basketball, we were appreciative of the slam dunk. Steph Curry, like you said, ruined basketball. He became Mr. 3-point shooter, shoot from half court, and every shot he took was a good shot. So Caitlin Clark adopted the Steph Curry. So Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker were dunking. So at that time, it just made sense to tune in. But the way the game is played now, we've been waiting for a chick to be a Steph Curry, and we finally got it. Because we're talking about putting eyes on the game. Steph Curry got little kids thinking they can just play basketball no matter what. Because I don't give a damn. I'm 5'3". If I can shoot from out here, yeah, you got to guard me. You know what I mean? So I think what that does is it just gives you the mindset like, shit, I got a chance. I mean, Steph don't look intimidating. He's a little light skinned, nice. He's a nice guy. And Caitlin Clark just looked like a regular chick. Like she's not like 6'9" dunking on people. She can shoot. And if you're a girl, you just think, shit, I just got to learn how to shoot. So to me, it feels a little bit more relatable, even though it's hard to do what they do. It just feels, you know what? I could probably do this shit too. So let's put a bow on college. It's crazy. College sports. We used to not even talk about college on this show a lot, right? And it's like that's the Caitlin Clark effect. Like she really got us talking about college. Deion Sanders really got us talking about college football. However you wanted to talk about it. Remember that era of Deion Sanders after he was 2-0? It was the craziest time. Caitlin Clark has held that mantle for 2 years. So big ups to her. Good luck to her moving forward. Now let's talk about some grown men and women in the professional ranks. The National Basketball Association. We're here. The playoffs are here. It's nice, we got 3 of us. We all alive, bro. We all got something to look forward to. I want to start with this first question, even though I have it a little bit lower on my list. But there's no turning back now. Whatever, this is it. Give me one word to describe how you feel about your team right now as we enter the last week of the regular season and the NBA playoffs. Sammy, let's go.
Sensational.
I like it. I like it. A-Rod.
Overwhelming.
Okay. Mine is pause. Okay. Because I'm aroused, baby. I am aroused. Pause. Because no offense, I love Giannis, right? I really do, bro. But I look at that. I looked at his, his little calf yesterday, and I was like, shit, if they mess around, we got to play Milwaukee in the first round. Oh shit. We could honestly set ourselves up. We're winners of 6 in a row, by the way. We can set ourselves up to get to a conference finals, and then Boston. Nobody's winning the East without going through Boston. I think we all can kind of just, Sammy's sensational, right? We all know that. So if I want an opportunity to at least get to a conference final, because I haven't even seen out of the second round yet. If I can get to a conference finals and we put it all on the line against y'all, I'll be happy. So I'm aroused. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm aroused, but I'm happy to see my dog back. But let's talk about, let's do a little report card of the NBA season, and kind of put a bow on the regular season as we get ready for the playoffs. I'll start with you, A-Rod. With playoff bound team, end of season form is the most concerning to you?
Anybody in the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4 in the West.
In the play-in, or in the actual playoffs?
I mean, the play-in is part of the playoffs, so.
Not necessarily, because you got to play in to get into the playoffs.
I mean, they're all concerning to me, man. They're just like, it's like a foam noodle fight down there. And these are teams that we're supposed to be like the Warriors. They won championships. There's obviously some rumbling that Klay Thompson's going to leave. The Draymond Green can't stay on the court for 3 minutes without getting ejected. LeBron James, he's getting older, and AD finally getting hurt. Here we go. It is what it is. The Kings last year, they had a great run. Now they're looking in the play-in. And don't even get me started on the Suns, man. What a shit show they are, man. What was it? 36-4 in the first half yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, but to their credit, over the last 10, 15 games, they've had a hard schedule, and they've kept it together for the most part. I'm actually impressed with what they've been able to do. But all right, you got the bottom 4 of the West. Sammy, what you got?
I got 2, kind of. I got, although one I'm not as concerned with. I think the first one is foremost is obviously the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something, like I said, I wasn't trying to be a hater. I mean, although I am a little bit, so I loved Damian Lillard. That was one of my favorite players a few years ago. But I didn't like how he approached the situation, and that's a conversation for another time, right? We'll do that again some other time. But I did know that the situation the Bucks put themselves in, they didn't leave themselves many options on how to make this team better, right? They didn't have any other options, so they had to kind of go all in on this. And as such, they kind of depleted their roster a little bit and kind of left them very top heavy. But it also looks like it's not really meshing. And it's weird because I thought Doc would be able to get in there and kind of mess with the personalities. I don't think he's a good coach. Trust me, I don't.
Listen,
but
I just had him most recently.
I know
it did not work.
I know.
It does not work.
And I got to tell you and A-Rod, Tom Thibodeau won us.
He robbed y'all
championship.
He robbed y'all of more championships. Just so you know,
for sure. But yeah, I'm very concerned. I mean, I'm not that concerned, right? But I mean, if I were to be concerned on the team, it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. And the other one that concerns me slightly, I think they're just losing a little bit of gas. I think part of it had to do with Shea being out, but is the Thunder. I mean, just a little shaky, right? Just a little shaky, but we'll see what happens. And they're young, right? They're young, and they have a lot of pressure on them being, a top 3 seed right now, which who knows? Maybe they can get the top seed because they're only one behind, but a little shaky. I
do have a question, because mine is Milwaukee, but I have another one too. I'm a little concerned about the Knicks a little bit, A-Rod. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Y'all get to the end of the season, Jalen Brunson can only do this shit for so long. This is a lot of wear and tear for this little man to have to carry this. He literally has to put this team on his back, strap up, and carry them. That's a lot for a point guard to do. But A-Rod,
I'm gonna go play in traffic now, guys. It's been a great show.
Sammy, because you mentioned OKC, which title contender to you is the most flawed? Because I put OKC for that because we could technically call them a title contender, right?
Mhm.
Because I mean they have a chance to win the top seed in the West. But to me, not only what you mentioned, like they kind of like slowly getting into the playoffs where they're not like coming in with like a head of steam. They're way too young. Like they are way too young for me. Like this is the Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant. They went through some growing pains. They eventually figured it out, got to a finals, and they were still too young for that moment too. And then they never got it together. And we're turning back the clock and doing the same shit over again. And to me, I see it. I'm like, it's there, but I don't know. Like, do you who did you have as the most flawed?
That I was also gonna add, like I was gonna put them two together.
Exactly.
I
Okay.
think you said it perfectly. Do you listen to the Bill Simmons podcast? Because he said the same exact thing about the Thunder.
I do not.
He said the same exact thing. Obviously, I agreed with it. I thought it was a perfect, comparison. But then I see a lot of the interviews after the games. I see how these guys, just enjoy each other's company so much more than that Kevin Durant era. Like I thought they were good players and knew how to play together, that Thunder. But like when you see this Shea team and these guys, like they're boys, man. Like, and that's why I'm still concerned because of the age. But when you have that type of camaraderie, you can kind of outshine some of that potential degradation in the playoffs. So we'll see.
Hey, Rob, who is your most flawed?
I was gonna say the Thunder or Minnesota because they're also very young too, man. Like I know they've got Rudy there and Conley, but the rest of the team is really, really young. And I like the gelling, like Sammy said, how the team in OKC, like they're all boys. Like when one interviews, they're all there together doing the interview, which is really cool. It shows camaraderie. It shows like we're in this, to win it. But I don't know. It's just like we say this all the time. LeBron may be the 7th seed, but if he plays the Timberwolves in the first round, like cooked.
We saw with John Morant and them last year. Like the Minnesota Timberwolves are having
John Morant, pun intended, shot himself in the foot with the "I'm fine in the West" quote. So
no. It was Dylan Brooks' dumbass poking the bear. Because to me, you can't give LeBron a reason to be motivated. Like he's old, bro. Like you don't give an old man motivation. And I look at Milwaukee. Not Milwaukee, Minnesota, bro. First of all, I really love Anthony Edwards, bro. God, I wish he played for a different team, but
Me too, because I hate Cat.
Yeah,
me too.
Thank you, A-Rod. Thank you. We're on the same page. All right. Cat.
I can't stand Cat because he doesn't have an identity. I don't know who he is. Is he like
exactly,
or is he like gonna talk like this during the interview and like, oh my God, bro, it was wild. Like he's got too many identities.
To me, Cat is just soft. Like I give him a little bit of a pass. He went through a tragic moment in his life, but even before that, to me, he was just a softer player. But Rudy Gobert, that is my
man some credit. He's had a
that
good
is my
year.
Jay Cutler.
He's had a good year.
There's
He's
one
had a
NFL
good
player
year.
who I hate, and it was Jay Cutler. Rudy Gobert is on that list of that one NBA player. Like, and I love Anthony Edwards, so like it just it irks me. But to your we're talking about Minnesota and OKC. If they got to play Golden State the way they clicking lately, and Draymond doesn't get ejected, he's gonna get in somebody's head. He's a vet. The LeBron and them, he's gonna get in somebody's head because he's a vet. Shit, even Phoenix. Like, if I'm OKC or Minnesota, why would I want to play Kevin Durant in the first round? And then I look at Boston. I know Vic was crying about it last week. If y'all have to play like us or Miami in the first round, I was like, yo, what was the point of being the first seed? Like, why would I want to play a healthy Embiid or Jimmy Butler? It's like being a top seed in the East and the West is not as fun as it used to be because having that play in kind of gives you a little bit of like, we got a little bit of room to play, kind of just rest our players if we fall to 9 or 10. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's same thing with the most flawed. Yeah, for me is OKC. I think Minnesota just they got a kid. They got this kid Anthony Edwards, and I'm very this year nah, but we'll see how they kind of build on it.
And I think like to kind of counter what you were talking about with Gobert, like it's funny that they had to go and get Gobert because Cat can't do the same things Gobert can do defensively. So they had to get two players for the job of one good center, right? So but they're 8-2, right, without Cat because he's been injured for like the last 10 days. And so I don't know, man. Maybe they don't need him after all.
You know what's interesting? Because I was listening to people like I'm trying to figure out what can Zach Edey do in the league, and I've been hearing like Zach Edey could be he's not as polished as a defender as Gobert by any means. Uh, this kid's been playing basketball for 7 years, by the way, which is incredible. So, but you cannot teach 7'4", and if you could get a cat with a 7'2", 3 Gobert, or like, and they were talking about like a Bam Adebayo with a 7'2" or 3, like an Edey type of person, or something like a 4 who can't do everything.
Back to the old NBA with Edey when you do it, and that is okay. Somebody will gamble and do it. I'm telling you, he'll be.
Yeah, projected to fall to the Celtics. So
that's what I'm saying too. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to say anything, but
we fucking need it. So
yeah, and when you think about it, when you have a player like a Gobert or an Edey, or again 7'3", 7'4", you can't teach that. You don't have to play them 48 minutes. Those 20 minutes that they're on the court, whether it's 20, 25 minutes they're on the court, can be very impactful because you got a bunch of young players like we talk about who don't know how to play with that type of like, oh, why is this guy in the middle? I like Shea. You know, Shea Gill just likes to get to his midi and get to the cup. If you got 7'4", I saw a play last night or 2 nights ago, Wembanyama. It was a 3-on-1. It was last night. It was Memphis 3-on-1, and Wemby defended the whole thing. Dog. Like they could not execute a simple 3-on-1 because Wembanyama is 7'5" with a 12-foot wingspan. Height cannot be taught. So to me, that's Gobert's value is that okay, he's tall, you know what I mean? And Cat, he can stretch the floor. Anthony Edwards, he's got that shit, he's got that dog in him, and they have a veteran, Mike Conley. Does OKC have a veteran? Like who's their veteran? Is it Gordon Hayward? Who?
Gordon Hayward.
I forgot he was there. He getting minutes. He's not. He hasn't seen enough to be a vet. He's just old. Like you need a vet. Mike Conley is a vet, but that's another thing. All right, let's move on. And then Milwaukee. Nah, fuck it, whatever. Move on. A-Rod, to my thing about New York kind of breaking down, right? I mean, how do you honestly feel? Like,
I just don't want to talk about it, bro. We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. I'm not dumb. I'm a realist with my team.
Listen, man,
they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be here with this roster, but they're there, and I'm proud of them. You know,
no, the roster was constructed properly. Me and Sammy and Vic have been telling you, y'all finally started to figure this shit out roster-wise. And once y'all get rid of Jalen, what's his name, and Julius Randle, and get y'all some good pieces for him, oh, y'all set. Jalen Brunson is doing everything he can. Josh Hart, his heart is on another level. DiVincenzo, he's been.
Don't run through the roster. We get it, all right.
But you see what I mean? You say that,
bro. I agree. I really do. But I would have loved to see it with a healthy Julius Randle and a healthy Mitchell Robinson. But I'm gonna wait till next season to see what happens.
I hope y'all trade Julius Randle. All right, next, moving forward. Which play-in team is most capable of playing spoiler? So we got in the East. Shit, man, the shit is so clogged up. We know for sure Atlanta and Chicago are already locked into the playoffs, the play-in. So that was the same as last year, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have Miami, Philly, who are they have 35 losses each, and then Indiana has 34 losses, and Cleveland, we'll see what happens with them. Orlando, same thing. So I would say more than likely we're looking at Miami, Philly, Indiana. Three of those teams are going to be in those two in the East, and in the West, we know Golden State is going to be there. We're pretty confident the Lakers are going to be there. Sacramento, I'm pretty confident they're going to stay in the play-in, and then to me, it's going to be between Phoenix and New Orleans. So out of those 8 teams, or you can do one per conference. I'll start with you, Sammy. Let's do one per conference. Who has the best chance to play spoiler and we believe Golden State did to Dirk Nowitzki back in 07, 08 or whatever, like that type of shit.
I mean, for me, it's the Heat.
You say that with
for one.
such sadness, bro.
It's fucking bullshit, dude. Like, I'm seriously like, whenever I look at it, I'm like, can we lose games so we can go to the 2? And it's like, no, we're fucking 14 games up, and there's only 4 games left. So it's like, or something like that, like 6 games left. So it's
No,
like,
y'all regular
fuck,
season
man.
this year, by the way, y'all was impressive. I hope y'all didn't waste all your energy on the regular season, though.
We're not. Like nobody's really playing. Like that's why when A-Rod was clowning me yesterday, I'm like, dude, if you watch the game, we were jogging. Like the Celtics are like
yesterday,
jogging out there.
Jason Tatum's over under on points was 22.5. I was like, oh, they don't even.
No.
They even Vegas knows they ain't even trying no more.
Give a shit. But the other team, I have to. I mean, they're both kind of on a tear right now, but it's between the Lakers and Warriors. Like, I hate to be that, right? Like, because I don't think it's the fucking Suns. No fucking way. Like, they're a first round exit to me.
Well, what the Suns, like, what are they missing? Like, dog, you have Devin Booker,
a team, a roster,
an identity,
a roster. Bradley Beal is not a big 3. I'm sorry, he's just not.
He's not a point guard. That's the problem. They brought him in to be the point guard. That was a mistake.
He's just not. No, Bradley Beal hasn't proved anything to anybody. So, like, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Is like, Bradley Beal is just not the player that he was advertised as. And until he proves to us that he's that Wizards from 5 years ago, Bradley Beal, like, we can't trust that as a true big 3, right? So it's technically only 2 guys that can score the ball. And actually give credit to Grayson Allen. He's been playing very well. So
Milwaukee misses him, bro. Shit. All right, A-Rod.
Same. I'm going with the Lakers. I'm going with the Heat.
Now, all right, looking at the
Heat are
Heat,
built
right?
for the trenches, and I picked the Lakers to win the finals, so I'm sticking there.
Looking at
my
the
internet
Heat,
went out. My bad.
yeah. Looking at the Heat, let's say they draw Boston, right? On a what's your confidence level between a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, that they can pull off that 7-game series in the first round?
Who, the Celtics can pull it off?
No, the Heat. Because at the end of the day,
On a scale
they're
of
still the underdog. So
a scale of 1 to 10, what do I think the Heat can beat the Celtics?
yeah,
10 being they can, 1 being hell no.
Hell no. Yeah, it's cold. You got 6, A-Rod?
Yeah, I'm leaning 6, 7, but my
Damn.
heart tells me like 3.
I'm Sammy. I'm with you on this one. I think Boston has had enough of this shit. I'm like at 2 or 3. It's like it's one of those things in which that bully that's old that just keeps beating your ass, and then you finally hit your growth spurt. To me, Boston has hit that growth spurt because breaking news: Drew Holiday got locked in for 4 years. Like they made that shit be clear. You ain't going. I
just think we made this addition of Kristaps Porzingis. And I don't think that they can defend. If we utilize him to how we're supposed to, and when we look our best, they can't stop us. We brought Porzingis in to go against y'all in Philly and Giannis. Like everybody else, we should be cooking like barbecue chicken.
Yeah, and I would say the only thing at the end of the day, without a shadow of a doubt, Eric Spoelstra is him. And so I'm a basketball junkie, so I like to get the information, right? That's why I love watching the Mind the Game podcast with JJ Redick and LeBron, because they talk the game really well. And the way they were talking about Eric Spoelstra, like it was him. Eric Spoelstra went to Oregon after they lost to the Mavericks, right? He went to Oregon to go hang out with Chip Kelly to learn how to translate the spread offense in the NFL to the NBA. And that was what the decision that he got to make Chris Bosh go into the corner, shoot threes, and completely make that roster fit properly, because they got him out of the paint, put him in the corner, and revolutionized like small ball kind of like basketball in a sense. Because like when you think about it, Atlanta, when they had Horford and all of them, and Miami, like we start seeing a lot of that with them, and that was something that Spoelstra did, going to a coach that plays a different sport to learn that. So the big joker on this whole shit is I think Boston will still be able to win that series, but Eric Spoelstra, that dude is something else, bro. So
I think Jimmy Butler comes with a bigger stick every year. That's what I think, man.
Even him, he's breaking down too. It's like Tyler Hero hasn't been healthy. Jimmy has just
Bro,
not. I haven't heard his name this year.
we say this every fucking year. And
I
Jimmy
know.
Butler does something in the playoffs. We're like, oh my God, he's Jimmy Butler. Like, dude, don't sleep on Jimmy until he completely falls off the ledge. Then I get it. You know that I'm like that with all these players. Like everyone's like, oh, Clay lost a step. Clay made 5 threes the other night and was looking fine the other day. You
So
know,
did Draymond. So you know that was a fluke.
Draymond ate
I,
his week before the game.
hey, for me, look. Depending on how the seeding goes, to me, man, I'm being a homer. I'm being Philly and I'm being LeBron because I'm gonna be a homer. Philly, just simply off the fact that if we get Milwaukee in the first round, then we get like Orlando or New York or it's Cleveland in the second round. I feel good about my chances with that. And then in the West, last night, against Golden State, AD didn't play. He had an eye injury. It was serious. I mean, like you got if you have a concussion, you throwing up. I get it, right? And then they lost to Minnesota the other night too because LeBron didn't play either. But the way the Lakers have been playing as of late, I gotta trust LeBron. I'm trusting LeBron. At the end of the day, LeBron, the way he's played this year at the age of 39, since turning 39, I ain't seen shit like this in my life, dog. So I would still trust LeBron to just do what he does. It's leap year LeBron, 2016 title, 2020 title, 2024, think about it. 2012 leap year, Bron title. 2008, I think he was the Olympic gold medal, redeem team. 2016, 3-1 comeback. 2020, bubble shit happened, still pull that bitch off. 2024, leap year Bron, baby. Leap year Bron. All right. And then what's a non-playoff team? You guys need to stop, bro. Don't do this shit. Come on, man. Bron's my dog, bro. That's my uncle,
I
dog.
love LeBron. I picked him to win it, so
That's my uncle, bro. Anyway, what non-playoff team are we most excited to look to watch next year, A-Rod? Who was your League Pass team? Do you remember who you picked for your League Pass team early this year?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think Indiana was one of mine. I forgot the other, but yeah. Anyway, but is there a non-playoff team? So right now,
Spurs. It's going to be the Spurs for me and what they can put around Wemby. That's what I'm excited to see because I still think it's crazy. I mean, I don't want to get into this, but the Kristaps or Wemby shit right now, you can have this guy straight up for whatever to go on your playoff hunt. Like
Sammy,
this Wemby, it's amazing.
Vic is not here. Okay, so you're allowed. You can change your mind if you want to. Do you right now? You still want Kristaps going into the postseason? You want that you see his new logo that Nike might have given him? Tough, bro. Tough. Who you taking? Come on, Sammy.
I'm still going Porzingis, bro.
You wild dog. You wild. All right, give me a non-playoff team that you are excited to watch next year.
Man. Honestly, they're close, so I don't know if it counts, but it's probably the Rockets, right?
I'm gonna say them too.
Yeah, but they're not gonna make the playoffs. They count.
Right. I mean, they suck really bad, but I don't know what they're doing. But like when you look at the Pistons roster, it's like a lot of young players and young talent on that team too. So that's gonna be kind of interesting as well. But yeah, for me, it's probably the Rockets.
I like both of those. I mean, for me, I was thinking the Rockets, but you know what? Memphis Grizzlies, dog. Like John Morant got to, he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? I got to see how he comes back because you remember they wanted him to be the face of the league and he screwed that shit up. And now he's got to hear all these other people be the face of the league. Anthony Edwards popping off, Jason Tatum popping off. I think John Morant comes back next. Think about it. The few so dumb. Yo, we show. Yo.
Mine's in the corner.
That's how you know we old, bro.
We old because it's accessible. By the way, if you're not watching the video, what do we call these? The
massage gun.
Massage gun. Us old folks got the massage gun ready on deck because you never know when you're gonna need to, take care of yourself. But anyway. I think John Morant come back next year with a vengeance. I think Houston will be good, but I think Houston needs to add because you know what the Boston Celtics are missing? Ime Udoka. Because his personality is like just all in that shit in Houston. And if they get the right vet, because Dylan Brooks is not the right vet. If they get the right like free agent or somebody who can just come in there and just take him over the top, oh shit, it's gonna be crazy in Houston. But I want to see what John Morant does in Memphis, and then in Wembanyama, year 2, Wemby, because they handcuffed him this year, right? And then his team does not want to pass him the ball. They don't want to see him shine. It's wild over there. Year 2, Wemby, once he starts like growing up, becoming a man, and like he gets his mindset like, yo, y'all can't fuck with me. Oh shit. Oh.
I don't understand also like how the Hornets aren't in last place. Like I don't get that. Like that, we don't have to get into it, but it's like to me that's so weird that the Hornets aren't 15. But
you know what happened? When they believe it or not, when they got what's his name from Dallas, they started playing a lot better. What's his name? Grant. The former Celtic. What's his name?
Grant Williams.
Williams. When they got him, he brought a little bit of professionalism to that team of kids. Like we look at Washington, why do they suck? It's a bunch of kids. Like their leader is Kyle Kuzma. Like, come on, bro. Like, are we serious here? Detroit, their leader is Cade Cunningham. He's 20 years old. Like it's like it's crazy. Like, I mean, Toronto, that's another team. Cause like, it didn't really work out this year. They made a lot of moves, but what's his name? Masai Ujiri. God, I'm a terrible Nigerian. How do I say his name? Anyway, he's good at what he does. So I think this is the kind of year for them kind of just let loose, and now they're able to kind of just get back into it. So we're gonna see. But anything in the NBA that's been on your mind, Sammy, before we move on to the NFL? Anything that has been bothering you or exciting you? Pause.
No, I mean, this is obviously just the Tatum at the end of games thing that's always on my mind, and that's really what I'm the most concerned with. I mean, if we go into the playoffs expecting to blow everybody out, like we're crazy. And I just think that when I watch some of the end of these games or when I watch some of these sets, it's either like we don't know what we're doing or then Jason Tatum just isn't clutch enough. And I'm not saying that means he should be any less of a superstar, but it definitely is a concern for me at the end of games. And then when you look at the other side of the coin and Jaylen Brown's statistics in clutch have actually been way better than Jason Tatum's. So who's the real dog, right? So I mean that's really the only thing that's been bothering me. Also, shout out to the Orlando Magic. That's a team we've all been talking about for the last 2 years. And if you listen to this podcast, you would have expected they would be a 4 seed. So, yeah, tune in.
And real talk with Boston. Remember Golden State 7-3-9? They were just trailblazing through everybody. And then shit got a little tight in the finals, and they couldn't handle that existential pressure of shit. We got to like really win these close games. It's a gift when you're that good, but at the same time, it's like you want to have some kind of like battle tested, like shit, we got through that one. And that's what Tatum is missing right now. It's like they're not battle tested enough in the regular season.
But to me, it's like when we go up by 50, like literally, like when we go up by 50 on teams, it's like we forget how we played basketball to go up by 50. So like when somebody starts to come back, it's like, oh, let's just ISO. It's like, no, ISOing is not what you got you the lead by 50. Actually passing the ball and moving and working into the paint with Porzingis and spreading the floor, that's what got you up by 50. And then they just forget. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to go on this long tirade.
No, but you're right.
That's my concern.
Again, Mazzulla, he just gets on my nerves. And as good as an offensive technician that he is as a coach, he's a kid too. Like he's a young wizard, but like not everything is clicking. Like remember Sean McVay? What made him click early is that he brought in what's the old man name? Woody whatever.
Sam Cassell.
Sam Cassell's there, but they need like Drew Holiday is a good fit for Mazzulla. That's what it is. Like Drew Holiday helps Mazzulla a lot. And like if Ime Udoka had another shot at the NBA Finals like he did a couple years ago, what he learned from that experience, dog, this Boston team would have been unstoppable. That's just the way I see it. But A-Rod, shit, I already forgot what I was gonna say. You already told me your non-playoff team, A-Rod.
Yeah, we did that already. The Spurs.
Spurs. All right, cool. Let's move on. Anything on your mind, by the way, that's plaguing you?
Tibbs just Just play the fucking bench, bro. Just play the damn bench. That's all I want.
Okay. Sammy, who's your MVP? No discourse. You got to just say it.
Jokic.
A-Rod, who's your MVP?
Jokic.
I just want to say, Luka Doncic, y'all. I told y'all in the beginning of the year, y'all see what this man is doing right now. All right? You see what they're doing in the West?
But I will say this. I was with you, but my caveat was I just don't trust Kyrie. But Kyrie proved everybody wrong this year. However, we have like 8 years of stuff against him. So you can't blame us for not going that route with you.
You proved me right. I knew Kyrie was going to be happy.
Boy, stop.
He just needed to get another version of Bron.
Hey, Rod, get him, man. Come on.
Got him a Slovenian Bron, or he got him a European Bron, a slower Paul Pierce type of Bron. I am proud of Luka Doncic. I'm there, bro. I'm real happy. That's my MVP. I know they're gonna give it to probably Jokic or SGA, but Luka's the man, bro. Luka's the man. But let's move on. National Football League. I feel bad. I was supposed to get my full draft completed. We're going to be posting our mock draft soon. I got the top 15 completed, but I have a pretty good idea of how I want to see things in the draft. I've been watching, even though I don't care for Mel Kiper's opinions sometimes. I don't care about his opinions. I just like to just watch and see what he has to say, and Field Yates and CBS and NBC, and I watch it all. And then I don't read the beat writers like A-Rod and Sammy. I know he got like some Reddit shit that he probably be following. So we're all obviously all plugged in. The NFL draft is in a couple of weeks. Typically we post like a few drafts before, but I figured, you know what? Let's wait till free agency to be done before we start doing all these mock drafts, and we're actually in the clear and we kind of know what the hell we're looking at now. So let's just start with, I'll start with you, Sammy, because you're the Patriots are the most intriguing situation in all of the top 10, because it's like I would not, massage gun. I would not want to be a Patriots fan right now, because it's like
it's a real gun.
My nerves would be on another level right now, because it's like I'm hearing all these Jason McCarthy things. We're not going to get Jaden Daniels. We're not going to get Marvin Harrison. They're in love with this quarterback. I don't even know about this quarterback. They might trade away the pick. Like, there's so much shit that could go on in New England right now. Brand new coach, brand new regime. Everything is different. Take it away, because I don't know how you doing what you're doing.
Bro, this is part of the reason why I needed to vent today. I'm not going to go on a really long tirade. I'm just going to kind of lay out my thought process, and I wish Vic was here, because I bet you we would fight on this. However, no offense. No, KK, no offense. I want no part of JJ McCarthy or Drake May.
No offense, bro.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. I want none of it. I don't want any of it. In my eyes, we have a bridge quarterback already, right? We have Jacoby Brissett. Is it great? No. Is a quarterback going to instantly come into this New England team and make a big splash and change? Absolutely fucking not, especially not in this particular draft anyway. So with that being said, I want the wide receiver. I want the potential perennial Pro Bowl wide receiver when we do get that game-changing quarterback, whenever that occurs. We make that man happy for as long as possible. We get that quarterback in either next year or the year after, and we go on our run. We just continue building these skill players all around it until we have the certainty at that quarterback position. I don't want to play around. And they were talking on the radio today, and I was just like really shocked, right? They were like, would you rather have Justin Jefferson, if you were the Patriots, right? Would you rather have Justin Jefferson or Kirk Cousins on this current roster? And I go, in my head immediately, I was like, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And they all were like, this is Boston radio. They're like, oh, Kirk Cousins. And I'm like, you guys are fucking on crack. Like, he's like a jag, right? Like, he is the baseline of what any quarterback can potentially be if you build a line and have offensive weapons around him. So why not get the Justin Jefferson, who's like an absolute world showstopper. He's going to sell you tickets. He's going to be exciting. He's going to do all this. Give me Marvin Harrison Jr. and let's hope that we could potentially get Michael Penix at the top of the second round. That's what I want. I don't think it'll happen because Michael Penix's draft stock is flying through the roof. So again, I don't think it's going to happen. But fuck it. Take a shot on like Bo Nix. Take a shot on Travis, right? Like he rated pretty well. Why not? Just take a shot on one of those guys in the second round as a quarterback because you're not winning shit this year anyway. Let's just get the sure thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a fucking sure thing.
Yeah. Now I want you to take this from a perspective. Now you said that as Sammy the fan. Now put your mind in what Robert Kraft is thinking, what Rob Mayo was thinking. Like, where do you? Because you got to read between the lines and see what people are saying. Now put yourselves in what they've been thinking and tell the fans and tell the people what the hell is really going on right now. Because
grab him by his money, bro.
Exactly. That's exactly what they are thinking over there in Patriots land. They made their millions and billions for about 15 to 20 years already, right? Yeah. Now they're just trying to sit there and count the chips, pull the abacus out and, count everything. But what they're not realizing is that you're losing a lot of favor from fans, and even people across the league are like quickly just like losing interest in the Patriots. Right. And that's why that's why it frustrates me when you have these, oh, look at the dynasty. Oh, look at, this is the Tom Brady documentary. Let's do it 4 different times. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like your product sucks. Stop trying to live in the past. You can do those things, but let's also put a decent product on the field. And they're not doing that. And they don't give a shit because they're going to rack up that check anyway. So, yeah, it's frustrating.
Chicago Bulls won their last championship in '98. And it's been quiet over there. I mean, shit. The Yankees. The fact that they're the Yankees is what keeps them afloat. But
stop it.
13
they spend
years.
Money. They put a product on the field. They put products on the field.
That's the thing. People. First of all, I hate you guys so much, A-Rod, because Juan Soto should be an Eagle, bro. Philly, bro.
He should play football.
He should be.
His favorite Philly, bro. His favorite player is David Ortiz.
Everybody should be a Philly. We get it.
Should be a Red Sox.
Anyway, but like when you think about like dynasties, like it's hard. Like the Celtics have won championship since 1987, 6. It's hard to replicate that shit, and unfortunately, it's like Tom Brady ruined the Patriots because like. They got so comfortable.
I don't want to win a championship, though.
No, but think about it. They got so complacent and comfortable because through all the mistakes that y'all was making draft-wise and this, and it didn't matter.
Yes. That makes a great point.
Matter,
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Matter. Tom Brady was going to save the day. And
correct.
And they were resting on those laurels. That's why they're still making Bulls documentaries till this day because they're trying to keep that shit alive. And that's why they got to keep doing it. It's only been a few years, and I've seen 4 different Patriot documentaries already. So it's unfortunate when you had that type of player come through into your lifetime. It's like that's why Golden State is holding on to this shit forever.
By the way, if any of you are like Patriots fans are interested, watch Julian Edelman's podcast. He did a couple weeks ago with Slater, and that shit was better than any of these dynasty the stuff that they were talking about was way better than any of these dynasty documentaries. But anyway, continue. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so you got the 3rd pick. Are we all in agreement? Caleb Williams and then Jaden Daniels too. Are we all there? Hey, right. What are you saying that to? Who do you think? Washington does that to?
Drake May's going up, man. Drake May's going up.
Bro, don't get me excited. Drake
May has been going up. I've even seen, and this is the stupid shit. You got to give me remember I told you, what was it, 2 years ago with Hutchinson and the kid from Jacksonville? You were like, oh, Hutchinson's going 1 overall. I was like, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so.
Everybody, when A-Rod says something, I want y'all to understand there's merit to it because I thought there was no way in hell. And he's absolutely right about that Hutchinson shit. We don't know what's his name in Jacksonville. I don't remember his name.
Trevon something. I forget his name.
Terrible.
Gives a shit. But anyways, I've been seeing Drake May's stock shoot up. I've seen mock drafts of him going 1 overall. I don't believe that shit. I think it's Caleb Williams, sure shot. But I think the Patriots have a fair chance to get Jaden Daniels
If that's true, if that is true, then I rescind what I said. But if that's not true, then yeah, don't do it.
If Jaden Daniels is there, do you even think they're gonna draft him anyway?
I think so.
Take fandom out of it. Take logic. Take logic and fandom out of it. I want you to go off of history and who the Patriots are. Do you?
It's a new regime though. It's a new regime right now.
I'm really hoping Gerard Mayo's not this stupid, although hearing some of his press conferences recently, I'm like, oh my God, you're kind of dumb.
Hey, Sirianni, his press conferences earlier were dumb too, but we got to the Super Bowl at least.
So. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping, right? Like, that's why I keep saying, I'm hoping this is like another D'Amico Ryan, but I mean, they really like JJ McCarthy. They really like JJ McCarthy from all that I'm hearing, and it's so frustrating. They've been doing, like, all week on Boston radio, all the beat writers, all the reporters are all doing this deep dive into JJ McCarthy because it's almost practically a sure thing that we're going to get JJ McCarthy. But I wouldn't doubt it if even if Jaden Daniels is available, we'd be doing something stupid and getting JJ McCarthy.
All right. Now, Jets, out of the three of us, Jets pick at 10. That's going to be the next pick. In between there, we got 4 through 9. Call it what you want, right? Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors. I see them as next 2 receivers that will go. And then right now, y'all are slotted to go Brock Bowers. But do you think, A-Rod, there's a team between 5 and 9 who's going to be a team that's going to, like, let's just trade out of the spot? Because I see a lot of shit with the Chargers saying, yeah, fuck it, let's just get out. But to me, I'm like, why would they? They don't have a receiver no more. They should probably go get Malik Neighbors.
Chargers not. Both New York teams, yes, they would. I feel like both can trade out.
So, I mean, who's trying to come up? Like, what have you seen?
Vikings want to come up to get JJ McCarthy if he's there. I've seen who else?
But who said that though? Like, we're just going off the word of like what the beat writers are saying, but like, do we actually have like merit where like he's visited with them, he's worked out, and they like love him?
Oh yeah, the Vikings feel like he's the fits the mold for them, so they want to get them before the Broncos get him. Like I even see mock drafts where Bo Nix is going to the Broncos and then Penix is going to the Raiders. I see mock drafts where either the Raiders, the Broncos, or the Vikings are moving up to get one of the quarterbacks if they're there still.
Okay. So let's say y'all are one of the teams that trades out of that spot or you stay in. I mean, obviously I know Brock Bowers has been probably I think that's like the betting favorite that the Jets are going to get Brock Bowers, but obviously you can't promise that. So what have you seen from your research and what do you feel personally?
I feel like it's Brock Bowers. I would rather them get an offensive tackle or a wide receiver because Mike Williams is just there for 1 year. So get a guy that you can pair with Garrett Wilson for the long haul. If you can get
Brock Bowers, the tight end, he's a pass catcher.
We just don't do good with tight ends. Like it doesn't make sense historically. But if we can get it, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just want if I feel like we're like there's holes in the wall and we're just plugging it with something cool. The real picture that we should be thinking about is Aaron Rodgers is 40 fucking years old. So like I would be happy if they got a quarterback. I'd be like, oh my God, they did what I really wanted.
I was just gonna ask you that.
If they did that, I'd be like, oh my God, that's cool. And like, but I don't think they want to rub Aaron Paws the wrong way. So they don't want to do that.
For VP and shit, so who cares?
I'm just saying Brock Bowers makes sense, but I see a lot of these teams that do need a quarterback, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Vikings moving up somewhere into there. I think the only teams that are enticing to trade would be both New York teams. I don't think Chicago trades out of their pick. They're sitting pretty to get possibly 2 good offensive players and or 1 good offensive player and 1 really stud of a defensive player.
Pass rusher.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at, all right, I know we don't pick till 22, so I was trying to see like who else is like
look at that white boy. No, darn.
Listen,
Suck again. You're gonna get that white boy safety from Iowa.
you ain't see this Cooper DeJean? That boy can play, dog. That boy he's shit. His 40 was good.
Y'all gotta get Kool-Aid McKinstry, bro.
Listen,
With that.
we'll get to that. I haven't decided what I'm gonna put on the mock yet for Philly. I've left that one blank on purpose. But I think Cooper DeJean, his pro day was good. And he moved up a little bit. But
The reason I'm saying that, I wanted to touch on this really quick. Pause.
yeah,
The reason I'm saying it makes sense for the Vikings to move up is because they have 2 first-round picks. So if they can swap pick 6 and the second-round pick, which is like, I think it's 40 with the Giants, and they give them their 2 first-round picks, it kind of cancels out. Kind of makes sense for them.
yeah. Yeah, and Sammy, 'cause I was thinking about like y'all getting JJ McCarthy or whatever, right? And why y'all should go get Marvin Harrison Jr. I forgot to mention it. It's like, what's the point of bringing in another young quarterback to throw the shit? It's like he's gonna get just as discouraged as Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi was. Like, it's like, what the hell is the point? So I agree with you 100%.
Unless you have a sign at the door that says "Don't take this too serious."
But I agree with you 100%. It's like, because I was thinking about, because I'm a Michigan guy, right? I've watched JJ McCarthy every single snap he's taken in college, and because of that, I have to watch Ohio State because I need to see what the hell we're about to face at the end of the year. I've watched Marvin Harrison play. That motherfucker's good. It's like both
JJ
times.
McCarthy had a good ass squad.
Yes, and
Like
this past
Mac
year
Jones.
we beat him. The year before we beat him, right? This past year I watched him and we won. And like the best player on the field is 1,000% Marvin Harrison Jr. Like this is after we just beat them. I'm like, yeah, that dude is nice, bro. Like that's how good he is. It's like it didn't even matter if he won or lost. He's the guy. So, Brissett to me, he's like he's old. He's why he's there. Like it's like Geno Smith. He had a little resurgence, but come on, you don't want that to be your future. So I agree. Go get you your guy. A-Rod, I think y'all need to protect this dude, homeboy, Rodgers. But at the end of the day, he is 40. He ain't gonna be there that long anyway. So it's like y'all in a weird place of trying to like, what do we do? Like go all in right now, or yeah, let's go for something. And then with us, I really don't know. Our MO is go stack up that offensive line. Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson were at WrestleMania, by the way. Lane Johnson, that dude is built, bro. Like I didn't know, I knew he was strong. That dude has no body fat whatsoever. And Jason Kelsey is staying in pretty good shape. And I think if we could convince him to come back, we're going for it, bro. We're going for it. But A-Rod, you're Mr. Rumor guy, right? What has been a rumor in the NFL draft that we need to be on some Brian Windhorst shit, and what the hell, like what the hell, what's going on? Who's shooting up? Who's shooting down? Who's trading?
6 or maybe 7 quarterbacks go in the first round.
6 or 7? Who the? All right, let's name them. Caleb.
It's crazy.
Caleb, Drake, McCarthy, Jaden, Bo
Nix and Michael Penix.
But who would be like a 7th? Who would be a wild card we're not even thinking about? Not Spencer Rattler, not
Milton. Because he's got a huge arm. People like that.
That's crazy. We're about to talk about huge arms when we get to our next segment, because we got to talk about baseball, these damn pitchers. But 6 or 7, okay. Sammy, have you seen anything that's been enticing rumor wise?
Fuck no.
You just sitting there, just a little worried about your shit.
A lot of
McCarthy's been the most exciting name over the last week and a half. Like he's trending right now.
I see 2 other ones too. A lot of wide receivers in this draft going in the first round, and people are saying Chop Robinson is going to be the best defensive player in the draft. Aaron Donald like almost.
I have a really good feeling that if he's there at 22, somebody's either going to try to trade him ahead of us to get him. But being that we just let homeboy Hassan Reddick go, and we brought in Huff, that's cool. We drafted Nolan Smith last year, that's cool. I think if Chop is there, we just gonna draft him, bro. We just gonna draft him. So that for me would be a draft day win. So we'll see that. We're gonna get our mock drafts out there within the next couple days, y'all. So just be prepared and be ready to roast us because y'all like to talk shit
Fuck all
and
y'all, man.
no. We love it. I embrace it. Bro. I really do. I love it. So come on, talk shit. Bring it on. We get A-Rod riled up, pause, because he gets hot about this shit for real, dog. He really does. But speaking of A-Rod, let's get him riled up, pause again. We talk about the MLB. We ain't talk about the Yankees. We ain't talk about that shit. We ain't talk about the Sox. We ain't talk about the Phillies. Although thank God we got a little dub today. I appreciate it.
My God.
And then but we got to talk about because I feel like when we talk about baseball on this show, A-Rod, you know why? Some shit is not clicking. Something's wrong, right? Now it's like, yo, why are all these young pitchers getting hurt? And you know how I feel about analytics. I feel like, and it's a bigger conversation for me because I'm looking at youth sports as a whole. AAU with basketball, uh, baseball pitchers, how like we don't really work on craft and technique anymore. It's like, can he throw 102 miles an hour? Yeah, let's bring it like that's where I'm at with baseball. So
All this
that
Chapman.
I don't want yeah, I don't want to I'm gonna let you take this away because do you have like a list of all the players that have been hurt or anything like I'm gonna look it up right now unless you want to look at the pictures. But all the pictures so clearly, there's been like Tommy John used to be like, damn, we got to get Tommy John. Now it's like, damn, he about to get Tommy John. It's like a rite of passage almost. It's like, yeah. It's time to get Tommy John. It's like weird to me. Like, why is this with all the research we do and technology and analytics and all this shit? NBA players, these are getting worse. Achilles is popping left and right. They don't play 82 games anymore. Football, everybody's Achilles and shit is popping out, ACL, and now baseball. If you ain't getting Tommy John, it's like, yo, are you even a pitcher? So, I mean, give me your holistic view of this whole shit because it's really like concerning to me.
I really don't know what the answer is, to be honest with you. Sammy may have a better say for it, but it's crazy to think that. I think pitchers are overworked a lot, and then they realize once they come back, they put them on a pitch count, and then that kind of in my opinion, it psychologically messes with their heads because a lot of these guys, like a Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander, they can deal 9 innings in on a good day when they're feeling good. But once that elbow goes, you got to take them. Like Shane Bieber's the biggest one to go out this year. Guy was dealing already, was in play for the Cy Young, pitching 2 games of no earned runs, and then he just miraculously goes out. So I think it's when you have an ace, you're labeled an ace because you can go far. The goal for me, as if I were a manager in baseball, is can you get me 5 innings? And if you're looking comfortable getting me 5 innings, I'll give you 6 for a quality start for your bonus right there or whatever. But we tie incentives into things. If you pitch X amount of innings, if you get X amount of strikeouts, you get this bonus type of thing. There's all these incentives that are tied in with it. So if I'm an ace on a team, I'm feeling like I'm Superman. I'm going to go out there and pitch. But then you see crazy shit like in the World Series. And, I hate bringing it up with Blake Snell where they pull the guy out and it makes no sense. So I really don't know what to put it on. I want to put it on bad managing at times. I want to put it on sometimes it's just their time. Shit happens and it sucks.
But it's every pitcher now. It's like literally like it's literally become a rite of passage. It's weird, scary.
But as human beings, like to be throwing 100 miles an hour or close to it, that's not a natural thing. Your body and your muscle, like that type of motion, something is bound to happen. If you're a good pitcher, you know how to have control on when to let go of the ball. And all it does is take that one time for it to pop. And, there goes your season for the most part. So I don't know. I just think pitchers, and I don't want baseball to get soft at that because I don't want to see a pitcher that's wheeling and dealing and like, okay, it's the 5th inning. We got to take him out. We'll give him a quality start. So we're going to qualify that and go from there. But
that's concerning to me because you mentioned you're like, yeah, give him 5 innings, maybe 6, and you're comfortable. Back in the day, I mean, shit. I mean, they pitching at least 7 or 8. They pitching it like let the closer come in the 9th and finish that bitch off. Like or have a setup do it in the 8th. But like, it was to me, it used to be a foregone conclusion. We getting 7 innings out of you, brother. Like,
Yeah.
why is that so tough now?
If you can, because it's just a lot on your body. It's a lot of motion and a lot of pressure on your body to do all of that. And like I said, it's when it's your time to get Tommy John. That's just how it is. Everybody's gonna get Tommy John now. That's the sad part. When it becomes a constant
it shouldn't be like that. That's the problem. You're losing a whole 16 months of your career, basically. It was like, that's a lot of time to miss in your mid to early 20s or whatever. It's like, that's weird to me.
I put it on training staffs. I put it on conditioning. I put it on all of that, like I do with a lot of these players that are injury prone in the NBA and NFL. Like, I tell you teams I don't like because something's going on there with them that they just can't seem to get, like the Chargers. I would hate to play for the Chargers because it seems like everybody on that team is injury. It just seems like the conditioning guy is just getting a paycheck and he's just like, oh, well, Keenan Allen's hurt again. I might as well sit back and wait till he gets healthy. But I think it's who you hire as a training staff. Shout out to Christian Bermudez. I'm
about to say, hey,
I'm not coming for your job, Christian. I'm proud of you.
Real quick, Christian Bermudez, his birthday is gonna be is tomorrow. So when this is released, happy birthday, Christian Bermudez.
We appreciate you, Christian. We appreciate you.
I want to say the amount of locker rooms I've been in because we've been winning. He FaceTimed me in locker rooms. Come on, man. Like, come on. Hey, continue.
But I credit it to that, man. Like, it just sucks when it happens. When it's something like Shane Bieber, for instance. It just came out of nowhere, like, breaking news, Shane Bieber needs, Tommy John surgery for the rest of the year. Like, guy didn't look hurt when he came off the mound. He was fine. I guess he went home and, maybe he John Walled and slipped in the shower. I don't know, bro. But that's what I mean. If you guys have anything to add to it, that's just my take on it.
Sammy, do you think the pitch clock got anything to do with it? Do you think can you attest anything?
Yeah, I think it's number one, you have a very unnatural movement. Like, if you look at the human physiology and anatomy, like, the natural throwing motion is actually underhand. Overhand is terrible. And you look at how we're transforming as a league. If you're not throwing 100 miles an hour, you're trash, right? Yeah. So if you can't throw 100 miles an hour, like, you're useless to anybody. Not to mention, there's also the curveballs, sliders. They're becoming much more dangerous, much more crazy to see. And that's such crazy torque on your elbow. And then the other part of it is, imagine if you had the possibility, you as KK had the possibility to take a tendon from your hamstring and put it in your arm. You're going to say yes to that 9 times out of 10 because you're like, that's a way bigger tendon than the one I currently have in my arm. So you have all that combination of thing into one. I partially, it might be a little bit due to management style. Like, I agree with a little bit with A-Rod there. I think a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's fully on the conditioning because I just think that this tiny fucking tendon that you have in your elbow, right? I don't think is capable to throw, let's say, 150 innings a year at 100 miles an hour for 5 years before it breaks. Like, it's just natural, right? Like, by the time these guys get to the pros, they have even more miles on their elbow, right? Throwing 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. So I just think it's just the norm now. And with how successful Tommy John surgery is, I mean, like I just explained to you, you throw your tendon in your hamstring, your elbow, you come back stronger than you were before. So why wouldn't you want that?
So it's literally a cop-out. It's like, you're going to get you Tommy John by 25, 26, just so you know. It's like Framber Valdez, Spencer Strider, Nick Pivetta, Shane Bieber. It's like Shohei Ohtani can't pitch no more. Jake DeGrom, his career is like, it's like out of nowhere, right?
That's another one too. The Mets is another organization I would not play for.
Oh yeah, that's different. That's different.
No, but look at all the pitchers that they've had that had.
Oh no, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. That's why I said the Mets. That's a different story. That's just a shit show of an organization. So it's like, that's another story for me. But so many of our stars, like, what do we love about baseball? Like, what do people talk about baseball all the time? They get paid, right? And we invested all this money knowing for a fact you probably gonna miss about 1.5 years of your career because it's just standard. It's like, damn, that's kind of like, it's just, They're just throwing money and analytics at a player to me. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna take you out in the fifth. Yeah, we're gonna ramp it up there. Like it's just to me, it's like everyone's thinking too much. Like we see it in basketball with load management. Everyone's thinking too much. Football with this, basketball with this. Like it's to me, it's too much thinking.
If you think of it smartly from a player standpoint, it's like this is coming. Get your bag. Get your bag because it's coming, and it could be the end of your career. So secure the bag, and that's why I have no pity for this shit. Like you're asking these players to do something that's not natural. Imagine waking up in the morning and you're tackled by 9 dudes. Like that's not a natural thing. Pause.
That's a huge pause. That's crazy.
Unless you did it.
That is crazy.
but that's not a natural thing.
That's crazy. Dog.
This is going on the interwebs.
That one is wild.
Put it on. No Diddy.
That
Put
one
it on.
Is wild, dog.
But imagine that, bro. That's.
I don't want to imagine that, A-Rod. I don't. I don't.
Pause me.
You could have said anything else, bro, but that was the first thing that came to your mind, dog.
Diddy memes are everywhere nowadays.
Boy, it's beyond me right now, dog. I'm at a loss of words. But yeah, in conclusion, this is not good. In conclusion, it is, for me, honestly, as a fan, again, A-Rod, I'll tell you my story. Why did I start watching baseball? Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa had that home run shit back in 98, 99, and I was hooked ever since, dog. Hooked ever since.
I want to say this. I'm very consistent, right? So I've always said, let those motherfuckers juice, just like I'm saying, let those motherfuckers gamble.
Let them bet, let them gamble.
Let them gamble, let them juice. And
A-Rod,
if you want to make that as my quote of the night, let's do that.
Maybe you're like a science guy, right? You're in that science world. How much would steroids or performance enhancers help you avoid a Tommy John? Because again, it's still on a natural motion, but you're having performance. Does it help?
Yes, 100%. That's actually 9 times out of 10, these guys are doing steroids not to make themselves bigger, but to recover quicker. And again, we've talked about consistently, and you hear on all the fucking, that's what's crazy to me. All the sports things is we want these players to last as long as possible. Last as long as possible. Why not give them the ability to recover better, to recover quicker? Why not? What's so wrong with it, right? We let these guys smoke weed, we let these guys do other things, and I'm only saying that because weed's technically not bad for your body. It's shown to be good after it. So it's fucking let them juice, dude.
It's just the problem that we have, especially baseball. A-Rod, you know this. Baseball is one of those sports where it's very everything's very intimate, right? The notion of anybody doing anything to gain an advantage, even though baseball is been like that since the Black Sox, since the 1800s. Don't go all the way back. They've been cheating ever since they started trying, right? But it's the thought of it is it's like a black cloud over the whole thing. Right. You know what I mean?
But A-Rod, you can say you can vouch for this, as I've talked to a lot of big baseball people, because I never played baseball. I just grew up loving the game. But just because you juice isn't going to make you hit the ball better. It's not going to make you throw the ball more effectively. There's so much, it's a lot harder to play that game.
I agree with you.
Than just to get bigger, right? And even if you look at the example of basketball, right? If you get bigger, you're not going to be as fast. You're going to be slower. So there's such a balance to it. So just because you introduce something to it, it's not going to kill the sport entirely. Yeah. Right?
Rashard Lewis got suspended for 9 games for some bullshit. I was I remember that one. I'm what the fuck did he take? He ain't doing nothing crazy, dog.
But then the problem is you have a guy like LeBron who puts all this time and work into his body, and people want to replicate that. The game is to be replicated. Okay, so people are going to start making hybrid human beings that are Master Frankenstein over here, making these dudes look like LeBron every time. So
all you need is some vibranium, dog. That's all you need is some vibranium. But we're going to leave it there, bro. Next week, I had something planned for y'all today, pause, but we're going to save it for next week. We're going to save it for next week. That's all I'm saying. But let's let the naysayers know. Sammy, what do you got to let the naysayers know today, brother?
Jason Tatum's going to be just fucking fine, so fuck all of y'all.
You was talking shit about him earlier this episode. You say he wasn't clutch. You said it wasn't close. Hey,
It's an interesting take, but to keep fucking beating the horn about it is annoying as shit.
I got you. Hey, Rod.
I don't want 9 dudes tackling me in my bed when I wake up.
Okay. Hey, to each his own, brother. To each his own. I have a special thing to say to my naysayers because my naysayers been getting on my ass paws over the last 3 days. Ever since my dog J. Cole decided to apologize. Look, fuck off, y'all. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. He's 39 years old. The dude graduated magna cum laude, pause, from St. John's University. You think he got time for all this bullshit? This is not his lane, bro. He just chose. He chose to enter this round because y'all was disrespecting my dog because he was making conscious music. So you say, you know what? I'm gonna hop on y'all tracks. I'm gonna murder everybody on your features, and I'm gonna go back and do my thing. To me, he got caught in the crosshairs of everything that happened with Kendrick. To me, Kendrick and Drake. Kendrick, because I think we talked about it a little bit, A-Rod. Sammy, I wish you were there for that episode, but
I told you.
Yeah, that beef is really Kendrick and Drake, right? It's really Kendrick and Drake. To me, J. Cole and Kendrick was like
funny
a
how you come around.
I know.
Come around.
J. Cole, I needed to justify my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But like J. Cole and Kendrick, it's like a friendly little competition, whereas Drake, they don't fucking Kendrick and Drake don't vibe. I think J. Cole got caught in the crosshair because the two light-skinned brothers decided to kind of, team up and do this shit. But let's be real. We know J. Cole ain't. This is not what he does. For J. Cole ain't like that. Like this is not what he does. And I am proud to get my dog Jermaine back because this is the Jermaine I know. Like love yours and shit. Yeah, that's my dog. So to me, he was lyrically able to prove if you want me to come into this arena, I can. But y'all know this ain't me, and that's how I take it. So nothing has changed for me how I feel about J. Cole. To me, he's still him. Kendrick is good, he's cool. I don't agree with Big Three because you cannot put Drake in the Big Three. I'm sorry, he's a pop star that happens to rap a little bit and does it pretty decently, right? But to me, it's Cole, it's Kendrick, and then shit, I don't know who else is rapping like that.
Joyner Lucas.
Nah, I'm gonna say Griselda niggas like what's my dog's name? Well, to me,
Benny,
Benny, but like I'm thinking new school. Still, Jadakiss is still better than all these motherfuckers. I'm just gonna say that right now. Jadakiss is still better than he's still better than all these niggas right now. I'm just saying that. So that's all I gotta say. But J. Cole, I'm gonna let my naysayers know. Man, you good, bro. Don't let these people get to you. Don't let the A-Rods of the world get to you. So
I'm on J. Cole's side. Don't say that. J. Cole just explained.
Listen, I'm right. There's a few people I'm ride or die for. Allen Iverson, LeBron James, Tiger Woods, J. Cole. I will run through a brick wall for them.
I'm also really upset that people just like overshadowed that entire production that he put out for us for just one song. I'm like, this is a pretty good EP. Like, y'all are tripping. Like,
very good.
He did that shit in 2 weeks. He did that shit because every song.
He did that shit in 2 weeks and then forgot the lyrics at a show last night. That's how good it was.
That's how quick he did that shit. So I just want y'all to know, bro. J. Cole is on another level. Y'all brought him into the arena. He entered the arena. He showed y'all what he can do, and he's going back to the crib. We going to Saint Tropez, baby. We chilling, dog. We don't do this shit, dog. We ain't playing with the little dog. He's trying to. Oh my God, we can do another. Y'all, A-Rod, Sammy. We talked about this. I got my boy Nick, who I'm about to be doing the wedding. We got my barber. I know you said you got homeboy. We are going to do a hip hop thing. All right, we're gonna do it. I'm just letting the fans know right now.
After the NBA Finals, we should do it.
I'm not playing. We doing this shit because like
you would like Mike's perspective on everything, and he's got inside sources on shit too. So
real,
we do it. And like I said, my barber Cook, he really does his research, and I appreciate that. Same thing with my boy Nick. But A-Rod, where can they find us, dog?
You can find us at Twitter at fair_weather X.
Not on TikTok yet.
I don't TikTok. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, search.
Come on, dog. How about it, A-Rod?
And where you subscribe or listen to podcast audio, you can catch us there.
Sammy, what the hell did TikTok got, dog?
Bro, I'm tripping.
Sammy, give us your words of wisdom again.
Oh yeah, let them juice and let them gamble, man.
Hey,
let them juice and let them gamble.
Let them boys play, dog. Let them boys play.
It's gonna make the game so much more fun.
Peace.